So, good morning. This morning I do want to talk to you about snow, how to color snow. I've seen a lot of colorings coming out in the last couple of weeks as we enter into the very beginnings of winter. By the way, happy Thanksgiving, that is this week. The biggest thing I see with snow is so many people put the blue up here on this top ridge. When snow falls, and no, we don't get a lot of snow at Christmas in Texas, but I grew up with my Christmases in Missouri. So as the snow falls, the fresh snow is on top. It's going to be white, not blue. The blue, the grays, whatever color you incorporate into your snow to make it show up, that should be tucked behind the little hills of snow. All right, that's going to make the hill in front pop up just a little. All right, so another example, if I take this tissue and I make these little hills out of it, what color do you see on the very top? And let me get rid of, let me get rid of part of this light. There you go. Now you're going to get a few shadows. That's what I wanted. So do you see right here on the top it's white? Right in front is your gray. Here's another hill. Right in front is the gray. Right behind this hill, do you see the shadow in the gray? It's the same way when you're doing snow. All right, so let's get all this out of the way. Today we will be working in the real meaning of Christmas, coloring art. This was sent to me. Here's the numbers by Product Concepts. I love this little book. We're going to be in this page right here. Get myself seated back down. All right, putting my clear plastic behind so that as I'm coloring, I don't indent into the next page. A lot of times I don't remind you of that, but I'm doing that. All right, colors. I went to my color wheel and I looked at my grays on my, not my color wheel, but my color samples that I make up for my colored pencils. And there's a video on that if you need it. I looked at all my grays and the grays that are stuck in with the blues, and I came to the conclusion that I didn't want just straight grays this time. I wanted a little bit of blue in my gray. I am working with my Prismacolors again. So this time I picked, in order light to dark, 938, 1023, 1087, and 1024. I will hold those light to dark. I may not refer to those colors again. I don't know. So I am going to try to zoom in some and see if the camera will stay focused and cooperate so that you can see what I'm doing. A little closer. There we go. Make sure I'm up on camera as I shove everything off the end of the table. Thinking that's going to be too much light. There we go. Let's do that this morning because I really want you to see these colors go down. And if it's too bright, it's just going to wash everything out. Now, let me double check and make sure I have these in order. Yeah. See, this is another reason you write down the colors and make your little charts, because by all means, it looks like this color should come before this one, but according to my notes, it's not. So let's get started and we'll see. The thing I will do first is my dark. I will keep it very light, okay? I don't want to get real dark on this. I don't want blue or muddy snow. Little circles coming across. I can even do some up in here. It's going to push that tree to the front a little bit, which is fine. Okay, the darkest is going to be right down in here. Right down in that little corner area. Getting lighter as I come out. Same thing here. You may say, what about buildings? What about roofs? Let's do that as we go too. The lightest snow hits the top, so you're going to get a little bit of shading tucked right under this edge, right here, and down across here. It's going to be ever so slightly. Again, you don't want any of that just in your face dark. Okay, now coming on down this hill. Lighter as I come up so it's easier to blend. Now you'll notice on this one I came up a little further than I did on these. It's because I'm down in a valley and I want to kind of keep that little bit of horizon coming across. I'm also going to come up here on this hill and see I'm going behind the hill. Behind it, fresh snow packed on top. The only time this is going to be different is when you have a road, which I picked a picture here that has a little bit of a road in it. How's that focusing? Ooh, we're good today. Good. Yeah, the road is going to be a little bit dirty if people have traveled on it. And I'll show you how I personally would do that in just a bit. Now I'm going to pop this house to the front a little bit by going right back in here. I don't want to do too much over the roofs of the house. Not in this darkest shade, but I will go some behind the trees. See all that? That's okay. That's okay. I can do some down here just to bring your interest around the corner a little bit. Blue is a very natural color for sky, or for snow, I'm sorry, for the snow accents, because it's reflecting the sky. That's why I personally use blue. Now I'm not going to go all the way across here. I'm going to go behind this little drift where the house is. That's where I'm going to take my attention, is back here. Okay, back behind. Don't go in front here. That's going to be white. It's the fresh snow down. We're going behind the little hill here. Behind. If your picture doesn't have little hills and mounds and you want them, take a Sharpie, a fine line, or now see I'm just putting in that snow here again, the shading, or a micron pen, and just add you a couple lines. You can do that. I could come in and do that here. I just don't have the need for it. I have enough hills. Okay, so there's that. Same thing with trees. Let's do this one. It's right in the front. I would decide that this part with the scallop is the snow area. The other areas are the green areas. So I'm going to tuck it all the way back in here. Not off the edges. The edges are where the snow falls down, so it's got fresh snow on those edges. In fact, as I get up here to the top, It's actually down here because the snow's falling down, so that's the overlap. Snow evidently is not something that's easy for everybody because, like I said, I've seen a lot of people coloring this backwards. So, and I had another video up before and I had actually colored part of that backwards. So I deleted that, and hence the reason for starting over. Alright, now we're going to go to the next color down, and that still looks like those are backwards. So what we're going to do is a little test on the side. These books with the pages that tear out are great for doing little coloring in your margins. I would say that's very iffy. Alright, we're going to put it back the way it was. So we're going to keep going. So I am doing number 1087 next. So this is just coming right up next to the other one. I can come a little further up the tree this time, getting lighter as I come up, blending into the color before. And yes, I drug out the Prismacolors for this today. I like to use different pencils in different videos. It's not that the Prismacolor is any easier to do snow. It's just I know not everybody has all the pencils I have, so I like to jump around on which pencils I do use. That way, hopefully, at some point, I'm hitting a pencil that you have. I hope that makes sense. Now, because I'm this tall up, I am going to do just a bit right here. Little circles. Coloring anything well is going to take some time, so don't get in a hurry. It's just not worth messing up your piece after you've taken time. Now see, I missed down in there. I have my pencils in order, so I know which pencil to go back and grab and just tuck that in there. Now on here, there's not a whole lot of room, so I've got to just tuck these colors in, just little bits here and there. Okay. The roof, yes, I'm sorry, thank you. Just doing another little line of color right next to the first one. There's not a whole lot of room for blending, so I've got to do this sparingly. In fact, we're going to pull this one up just a little. Let's pull these up just a little and let you see how it goes when we really put a lot in there. Now, do you remember? Sometimes I change my mind on colors. I am not going to put the lightest gray on all these, I don't think. I'm changing my mind again already. Maybe I will. We're just going to keep going and see how it goes. This is that 1023. Do you see how it's starting to look like a fluffy snow? I'm not sure I went all the way up this ridge before, so we'll be sure we get it this time. And I can come back into these colors and blend if I need to, because this color is lighter. Always doing that with a lighter color. Coming up here a little because I know I'm going to end up going behind that house. So I want to make sure that the colors are blending and that I'm not just having a stark color there all of a sudden. The reason I say I know I'm going to is because my blues have crept up out of here and they get taller, and I just want to keep it in a good balance. See, now I'm hitting here and I'm hitting here, and I didn't before, but I've got it coming up. Let's not forget this one. Let's do a cross here, and see I'm creeping behind this house a little bit. That's why you want to keep those layers of color to fairly narrow as you get started, because they will climb up your page as you go. That's the whole idea, is for this to climb up and leave that shading, that shadow. Let's do all these. And see, this is barely showing up now. That's okay, that's what we want. It's on the bottom section, so this light section looks like it's where the fresh snow hit. Do a little more right there. Okay, the tree, yes. So we've been coming down on these little ridges. So figure out where your snow is. And on the ground, we've been building from the dark color up, right? We start up with the darkest down here, and we're getting lighter as we go up. On the tree, we've tucked the darkest color up under there, and it's getting lighter as it comes out. All right? If I have a tree, and this is the branches, okay, and the snow's coming down, let's see, branches come out like this. It's going to hit the edges. It's not going to hit all the way up in here. So up in here, see that shadow right there on that pencil? So that's why we're doing a little darker up in there. So that's why we have the darker up under there, and it's getting lighter as it comes out. As that tree branch comes out, the tips is where the fresh snow is. Okay? All right, putting this one back in. Let's see, that was 1023. So now we are going to our white. Now with white, somebody posted, oh, you really don't use blenders at all, do you? No, a lot of times I just don't. I don't have the need to. I've been coloring with pencils and crayons and painting for enough time now that I can pretty well manipulate the pencils and get them to do what I want them to do. So, and these are wax based, so as you color over, you're spreading some of that color around. The wax is just grabbing and smoothing out. Okay. I think my coffee is getting cold. I never dreamt that I would be up making a video before 7 a.m. Read a book till 11:30, 11 o'clock last night, and then went to bed and was awake at 5:30 this morning. What's with that, huh? No idea. Okay, and then the snow. Now, you might think that tree looks a little odd right now, but once the green gets put in, it's going to help. So if this gets cut off before I'm finished, I'm sorry. I am not going to look at what shades of green these are in my little swatches. 907. Actually, that's a blue-green, so we're going to put that back, so skip that. Let's go with marine green, 988. And then let's do dark green. These are actually small, aren't they? Small little areas. Let's just do dark green, 908. And then let's go to this green, which is 1096, Kelly green. Let's just do those and see what happens. So the darker is going to be tucked up underneath. So up under here is the darker. up under. Trying to move my hand around, give you a chance to see different views. Because when you're in a little spot, you can't just cut your knuckles off, but I can try to be aware for you. Okay, I'm just tucking this darkest green up there at the top of each little section. I'm not even going to put any up there because that would all be snow on the top, right? Snow comes down fresh. So tucking in. And if you're thinking, wait a minute, at one point she put a little bit of blue in there. Yeah, I did. Good for you noticing that. Wasn't supposed to be, but I did. And I didn't call attention to it at the time because I knew I could cover it up with the green. So you make little accidents along the way. Just think ahead. Do you need to erase it, or are you going to be able to cover it up? Now, see, that's not bad for a little tree. Okay, get a good shot of that. Looks pretty good. Okay, what else do you need? I don't think I blended on all my roofs. So let's blend those. There's really not much to blend down this little side. Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, thank you. Let's do that path. Let's see what's going on there. Do we want that to just be a path, a walking path, or something that someone's driven on? I'm thinking a road because we see no other way to get back in there. So picking up my pencils again, putting them back in the color order. If I put them in order now, I won't get them mixed up later. Now, this road is a little dirty, so actually I could move to gray now. I think instead what I'm going to do is use just my two lightest pencils. I think that will get me the effect I want. All I'm doing is tucking a little color in. That's all. Then blending the white just to make sure that it gets blended in. Now, a road, generally instead of having one area of dark like that, we'll have two. So I'm going to bring pencil 1024 in, which was my darkest one. And I'm just making little circles here. Then I'm going to skip a little area and go over here. What I've done is put in tire tracks. Can you tell that? That's what I've attempted to do. I'll lighten right through the middle, go on each side, and then just blend a little. But now we've got some tracks that have gone back in there. Let me pick up that same darker blue again and just come back in here. It'll just recess that and make it look like it's further back. You know what? There's a hill right here. Totally missed it. Totally missed it. So I'm taking my colors and just going in. I'm having to look because they got out of color order. So I want to make sure I get them in the right order. The dark, the medium, the light. And I think I got way too dark with that way too early on. I did. I don't like that. So easy fix, erase it. So erasers, Amazon or AliExpress. Don't pay over about $5 for one because in my opinion, they're all basically the same. Okay, let's keep that skinnier than what I did. And then this one's next. See, that's why I keep my pencils in the right order. I'm telling you, it's so much easier than this one. Yeah, that just got out there too quick with being dark. So I just erased it and made smaller areas. Now I'm going to blend. And I will blend all the way down into this. And see what that did was that tucked that back in there. Okay, see how it tucked it back in? All right, that is how I do snow, my friend. Okay, now we're still rolling, so I'm going to do one more little thing. Over here on this edge, it's just white. I'm just going to put in a little corner of my blues. Dark to light. What this is doing is softening that hard edge of white. And I know you don't think of white as being a hard edge, but when this has all this color and this is just stark white, yeah, it really does. It leaves it kind of just in your face that there's no color there. All right, my friend, that is snow. I think I'm going to just use some pastels to go around all these snowflakes, and then probably use a glitter pen to do them. And yes, I suppose I could come back and do that for you on camera in a bit. Now, see, when I turn on the light, let's see if it washes the page out. Yeah, see, you just can't see that as well, the blues. So that's why I had the light off. Trying to see if I can get it to focus. There you go. So that's why I did it with the big light off this time, and it went back to blurred. Okay, so anyway, there's that. And again, that book was The Real Meaning of Christmas Coloring Art. You can do a search on that. It is from Product Concept Manufacturers Incorporated, and I believe it is an Amazon item. It's not Prime. Okay, see you later.